How to get ahead in life. That's what everyone wants to know, right? We all want to be somewhere where we're not. And the first question becomes, where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? So the first question of getting ahead is, what are you trying to get ahead of? Are you trying to get ahead of your peer group? Are you trying to get ahead of preconceived notions by society of who and where and what you're supposed to be by a certain time period? So that's the first step, is to realize that, hey, you're looking around too much. You're looking around on the outside too much, and you're not looking inward enough. You're not really asking yourself the question, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? Yet instead, you're looking at, the Joneses. You're looking at, what does the guy next to me have? Or what is my friend who's super successful? What is he doing? Oh, wow. Okay, well, I need to do this or I need to do that. And this brings to mind a really great quote by Theodore Roosevelt, in which he stated, "Comparison is the thief of joy." And that's one that stayed with me for many, many years because, growing up, you see other kids with maybe more, money than you have or your family has, or maybe, you look around and you just see, how people differ from one each other, right? Nature gives us all different abilities and all different situations when we come into this world. And like I said, many people live their life continuously just looking around and comparing, right? This person has more than me in that, or that person's taller than me, or this person's stronger than me, or that person can sing better than me, or that person's more attractive than me, or right. And like I was mentioning, you're looking outside too much. That person, that guy, that girl. You're worried about all the wrong things if you're trying to truly get ahead in life. And maybe there's the answer within the question, how do you get ahead in life? Is you have to have a head, right? You get ahead. You have to think for yourself and not compare with others. So that's step number one, is to think for yourself and stop comparing for others and think about, what do you want? Number two, I would like to start with, is to realize that we've only got the present moment. I know most of our days are spent, regretting things we did in the past, or maybe worrying about things that may happen in the future. But you have to understand that the only thing that exists is the present moment. The past does not exist, and the future does not exist, and they never will exist. All we have is right now, and right now, and right now, and right now. So the question it becomes, okay, so you answered number one, what do you want? And now number two is, right, we know that there's only the present moment, so we have to now act in a way in which we can then move towards getting what we want. We have to realize that it's just right now. It's not saying, hey, on January 1st, I'm going to start working out to get a fit body. It's not saying, oh, after that money comes in, then I'll have security and then I'll feel good about myself. Or it's not, oh, I'm going to, go to talk therapy for years and years and years and, talk about all these things inside my head that happened in the past, or maybe worrying about the future. And then I'll be able to live my life, right? After this or before that, right? You're setting up these conditions in time which aren't real, right? Like I said, all we have is right now, the present moment. So you know what you want. You realize you only have right now to act, and you must act in a way to get what you want, right? So to take a little detour real quick, we know what we want, and we know the time is now to do the thing we need to do to get what we want. So the question is, well, okay, we know what our desire is. We know right now is the time to get it. But there's so many other parts of life, right? We're biological, finite, creator beings on this planet. So, right, we have to sleep, we have to eat, we have to drink water, we have to have relationships. We depend on other people depend on us. So what that means is our time is limited. It's the present moment. We know we have to do that thing that you already know what you need to do. If you just sit there in the quiet with your phone turned off and you just ask yourself, what do I need to do next? Just ask yourself that question out loud, right? Your brain will know what you need to do next on your life path. So, but what I was mentioning though with that, right, time, we know the time is now to do that thing that we need to do to get what we want. But there's so much, I would say, other parts of life that can, that are not that thing that we want, right? Let's say I want, let's use an example. I want a yellow flower, right? But I've got to brush my teeth and I've got to comb my hair and I got to, right? You don't have to do all those things. I could just go run out in the street and just keep running down the street until I found that yellow flower that I wanted. But like I said, realistically, if there's no yellow flowers near me, let's say, right, I'm in the desert right here, then that would be foolish, right? I'm not using my head. I'm not thinking. I'm just acting without thinking. So all that's to say is you have to understand what you want, understand you have to act now to get it, but you have to understand that we have constraints, that other parts of life might get in the way. So why I bring that up is we must pursue perfect health and perfect mental health so that we can then use those assets. It makes no sense to me that people spend all this time in the gym, all this time meditating, all this time ice baths and stretching and, maybe doing some sort of martial art or something, studying in school for years and years and years. I'm about to go on another tangent here in a minute, but when people just spend so much time practicing or training and never using those things that they built up. So right here I'm mentioning perfect health and perfect mental health to the best of your ability, right? Pursuing those things, because as you know, the healthier you are and the better your brain is, your mindset is, and now you can use those assets, right, and deteriorate your health a little bit and deteriorate your mental health a little bit in pursuit of achieving what you want in the present moment. So that's very important, because let's say I wanted that yellow flower, right? If I'm overweight, if I'm sickly, if I'm stressed out thinking about blue flowers all day, or thinking about, the invasive species and the locusts are going to come in 100 years, and, this prophecy and this guy on YouTube, and worry, fear, right? If I'm doing all those things, then I can't go and pursue what I want, that yellow flower, right? I'm out of shape. Maybe my health isn't the best, so I'm not going to be able to, be at my peak. It's like, would you rather, pursue this difficult, because it's probably going to be difficult. Whatever you want, if it was easy to get, you'd already have it. So whatever you want is probably difficult to get. And with that being said, you need to have perfect health, or pursue perfect health and perfect mental health, such that you can then use those assets to take on those difficult challenges, and achieve them and overcome them quickly. Healthy mind, body, spirit, brain, body, right? You got to have it all. You can't just have bits and pieces. You can, don't get me wrong, you can, but it's just going to make it that much more difficult. It's like the guys who maybe they drink a little bit too much or have other vices. It's only just going to slow you down. It's just driving around with your emergency brake pulled up, right? You don't want to have those, and we'll jump to that in a little bit. But I wanted to also mention this as well, which is really important, which is, right, you have this desire, you have this goal, you have this want, whatever it may be. You really should keep it inside. You really shouldn't let it out. So for example, let's say you just started working out. You want to get your health to the, you want to increase your health, you want to increase your lifespan, you want to have more energy, more focus. So you start working out consistently. There's a lot of people who will, right, the first time they get back in the gym, they got to take a selfie. They got to tell their mom, their dad. They got to tell their girlfriend. They got to tell everybody about, oh, I'm working out now and I'm going to get jacked, this, that, and the other. Studies have shown that when we talk about our goals or we talk about what we want to do, then our brain interprets that as if we have already achieved or done that thing. But so this can be actually very negative. So for example, let's say you want to work out. By you telling everybody, yeah, I'm working out and man, it's going good and this, that, your brain thinks you already worked out, but maybe that day you haven't even worked out yet. And right, people start that initial high of oh, I'm working out, I'm being consistent, I'm making gains, and then they lack that discipline. And right, you're telling everybody about your working out, you're telling everyone about your goals, and what happens is your brain thinks you already have what you want. You really should just keep it inside, in my opinion. It's like hold it close to like your chest. If you let out, like I said, if you let it out, then it's going to, right, it's already in your brain that you've already achieved it, but you haven't. You still got to put that work in. So keep it inside, whatever you're trying to achieve. And when we're talking about getting ahead, right, now I want to kind of jump over to action, like actual steps that I would recommend someone who is, saying, Zach, can I get a tangible, what's your 5-step process you would say to get ahead in life? And so before we jump onto those points, we got to think about what is the biggest part of getting what you want. It's sacrificing the things that you either don't want, don't need, don't help you achieve what you want. And you get rid of those things, those energy leaks, you get rid of those commitments, those responsibilities that don't serve your goals. So you do that to the best of your ability, because like we were talking about on point 2 or 3 there, where we pursue the best health and mental health as well, because we know our time is finite and we do have obligations and responsibilities. So in order to get what we want, we need to maximize whatever time we have left over, or whatever energy we have left over, in order to put it towards that difficult thing that we're trying to achieve. So the philosophy before we get into the steps is we need removal. This is not talked enough about. Everyone wants everything. They want, they want to work out, get a lot of work done, have fun with the family, go to the grocery store, go get some gas, pay their bills, and right, they want to do way too much, and they want to do an ice bath, and they want to wake up at 4 a.m., and they want to go to bed at 9 p.m., and they try to add all these things to their to-do list or their calendar, and they focus on addition rather than subtraction. Removal will make you more money. It will give you more time. It will give you more pleasure by removing the things in your life that don't serve you. Time progresses and we start picking up responsibilities or obligations or habits that take time and energy from us, but they don't serve what we truly desire. And when we let those things just continue to exist in our life, those responsibilities, obligations, vices, things that don't serve our higher purpose, our higher goal or desire, all that does is just kick the can down the road for how much time it's going to take for you to even potentially achieve that goal you had. Think about Elon Musk, right? When he was making PayPal back in the day. But, what if he said, okay, hold on, wait, I gotta, I'm not done yet. I gotta do this, and I'm so busy with all these things, though. And, Elon Musk's not the best example because he can do a lot of different things. But you're not Elon Musk. I'm not Elon Musk. Most human beings, they need to focus on one thing at a time to really achieve it and manifest it, and then they can then take their efforts to the next thing. But what I'm getting at with the removal is you want to remove things from your life to leave space and leave energy to then use for this new difficult thing that you're pursuing. So let's talk about some concrete steps. Step number 1, I would recommend to remove all vices, alcohol, weed, to any sort of, party drug, or any sort of, if food is a vice for you, if you overeat, fast food, or if you, what other some other vices off the top of my head, if you're, this is a controversial topic, but like pornography will, if you're abusing, your body and you're getting prolactin buildup and you're just, you're just always chasing quick dopamine hits, maybe the vice is you're maybe an addiction towards maybe social media, maybe, just an addiction towards something that doesn't serve you. That's what a vice is. Vice is something you do that doesn't serve you. It might be gratifying or satisfying in the short term, but oftentimes it leaves you with regret, and it often does not move you towards the life that you want. It oftentimes takes you a step back from the life that you're trying to pursue. So that's number 1, is removal. Remove all vices in your life. And it's all different from each person. Every person has something they struggle with that they know does not serve them or their family. So you got to find what your devil is, or what, holds you back. Maybe it's staying up too late playing video games, and then you wake up later in the day and you don't feel as rested, and therefore you don't, pursue your goals, or your work is not as efficient as it could be. So maybe the vice is, the video game and staying up too late. So you just got to remove all those things that are just, they are self-inflicted wounds that you might think that they're self-inflicted, pleasures, right? If you're drinking alcohol, or you're doing something that releases a little bit of dopamine or feels good. But then, like I said, you look back at the time, energy that it took from you, and realize that was supposed to be the time and energy where you were doing those things to help you get what you want. So, like, if you're a person who spends too much time, drinking with the buddies, or, smoking with your friends or something, all that time is that is the time you're supposed to be doing the things to get what you want. That is the time. So number 1, remove all vices. Number 2, early wake up time. So this is something that I'm still working on myself, because I think I'm more naturally a night owl, right? I've recognized and I've realized when I consistently wake up early and I start my day, with exercise, get the day going, get your body and mind in motion. I just find that I'm able to complete so many more tasks, and also make my day that much more productive. Because I have more time, right? If I'm waking up at 6 a.m. and some guy's waking up at 7 a.m., right? The time it becomes 7 for the 6 a.m. guy, that guy's already had breakfast, taken a shower, already kind of starting their day. So at 7 a.m. when that guy's opening his eyes, that 6 a.m. guy is already, in motion. But you can say the same thing for the guy who woke up at 5 a.m., right? He's already ahead of the guy at 6 a.m., right? And so on and so forth. So there's a balance there. I'm not suggesting you, become Jocko Willings or one of those guys who wake up at 3 a.m. every morning and pour coffee in their eyeballs. But it is important, I think, to really try to find a time that, makes you a little bit discomforted, right? Maybe it is 5 a.m. for some people. Maybe it's 4:30, right? I've worked with people who they wake up at 4 a.m. every day. My mom's a really early morning riser kind of person. She can just wake up and just go, right? I'm more, for me, I just got to wake up. I need to drink some water. I got to get some sunlight, right? I want to go back to sleep. But I realize that's how everyone feels. And so to get ahead in life, I need to build habits that, get me out of that group of people who are falling in that same trap, and instead be proactive and get my sleep and wake up early to then once again get ahead in life. It's all about these small little things that will then open up the time and energy and opportunities to then get what you want. So that's number 2, early wake up time. Number 3, this goes along with that mental health and physical excellence, which is tracking your food. So, if it fits your macros, right, counting your protein, carbohydrates, and fats. If you're extra, micronutrients, there's some food trackers online. You can do all that. I'm not too concerned with all of those things. I like to keep it simple. I know what foods give me, I know the food groups and meals that give me the protein and carbohydrates and fats. Since I've done the math backwards, after I've already done the work to see which foods serve me and my goals, and now, right, I can just incorporate those in my diet and focus on those and remove the foods that do not add to my goal. And so, right, I would recommend the Notes app on your cell phone, right? You've always got a cell phone. Most people these days do, at least. So you don't have to, have a journal that you keep in your pocket or book bag or purse or something. You can just use the Notes app on your cell phone and just start simple. Track what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It sounds so silly and so easy. It's like, okay, coffee, apple, but I ate out at this restaurant or that place. And what it does is you start to see over time that you've whittled away the bad, right? Maybe now you're not eating as many desserts and chips, and now you're not eating out as much. Now you're not missing meals because you now have the intention and habit to track your food. And by doing so, right, you're leveling up in all these areas. Now that you're eating better food, now you're hitting your energy and fitness goals because you have the correct food that you're intaking. Now that you're eating the right foods and not eating the bullshit that makes you sick, tired, fat, brain fog, right, now your mental health is better. So now you have mental clarity to then, once again, get ahead in life. So tracking your food is such a simple thing, and for me, what it did, it made me realize just how much I was lazy sometimes and wasn't prepared with my groceries. And I would get Taco Bell, get a bean burrito, get something, and like I said, I'm a realist. I eat out, I eat fast food. I'm not going to say, I'm never going to eat fast food again, stuff like that. But what I recognize is the more that once I started that habit of tracking my food, it just made my fitness goals, energy, all of that, right? I'm getting ahead in life. I'm leveling up as an individual because I'm constructing the individual who can then do anything and can get ahead in life. So track your food, number 3. Number 4, this one is, probably my favorite one because right now, number 1 was removing everything. Get away vices, get away things that are going to hold me back. Get away people, places, whatever that's going to hold you back. Remove all vices. Number 2, early wake up time. Okay, now we're waking up and I'm not drunk, I'm not hungover, I'm not brain fogged, right? I'm waking up early. I'm tracking my food, so I know that I know that I'm not consuming bullshit that's gonna, affect my sleep or affect my digestion or something like that. I'm not eating these poor foods. So now I'm waking up early with energy and rest, and now your day starts. And this is there's many different methods, and we'll go into one in a second here that I really like, but this is one philosophy that I like, which is eat your frog, right? Eat your daily frog. What that means is you do that one hard thing each day that is productive, that really pushes the boulder, really, pushes you towards your goal. And it's called eating your frog because, right, frogs are gross. Eating a frog is hard and slimy and might jump off the plate when you're trying to put it in your mouth. But right, by doing one hard thing, one difficult task, and getting it done, right, that will give you this, glow of the day. Like, okay, wow, yes, let's use the fitness example again. If I'm trying to lose weight and get in shape, if I wake up early and I get a workout done, oh my gosh, like it's a dopamine rush, like better than any sort of vice, right? It's this momentum builder. Like you just feel so good. You're like, holy crap, I finished a workout. It's 6 a.m. right now, or 6:30 or 7 a.m. whenever you wake up and go to the gym, or right, or just hit the floor when you wake up in your living room, right? Just hit 1,000 push-ups. That will make you feel great. But what I'm getting at is when you're waking up and you're tackling that frog, you're gnawing down on it, nom nom nom, and it's swallowed, right? It's in your stomach. Like you just feel so good inside because you know that you're one step closer to achieving what you want, which is to get ahead in life in this case, right? So do that one thing. Do it, and your life will change dramatically. And that's what's so cool is, all right, I'm just saying, just do one. Oh, there goes the wind blowing my tarp away. No. Just do one hard thing that relates to that goal that you have and knock it out early, before. So that was the fitness example. But let's say, that yellow flower random example. Maybe I wake up at 6 a.m., go to the gym, let's say my early wake up time. Let's say I gotta be at work at 8 a.m. I gotta be in the office. I got a 30-minute commute. So 7:30 or 7:25, I gotta be out of the house. Okay, that means I'm waking up at 5 a.m. so that way I can have my workout and then eat my frog. Like for the example of the yellow flower, maybe from 6 a.m. to 7:25 every day. That's the block I dedicate towards building my dream life. Doing that hard thing that I need to do to get what I want. So the yellow flower example, maybe that's the time the first day I wake up and go on Google Maps to start making a plan of where yellow flowers exist, right? And I start making a research document. Okay, yellow flowers are here, and okay, now I gotta go to work. Okay, boom, done. So you've already woke up early, got already good things happening, and you've already accomplished a difficult task. And then the next morning, okay, now you check that off. Now you keep going down the line, check, until you get to a point where like, hey, I know where the yellow flower is. I know where I need to go to get it. I know where all the obstacles that may happen. I'm not an overanalyzer. Don't spend too much time, always drafting and modeling and thinking too much, right? Action is important. People overanalyze things all the time. But when it comes to, let's say, getting what you want, you just need to have that idea in mind of what you want, because the way you get it won't be how you think you'll get it. The path will always vary more so than you can imagine. So you just have to keep in mind what you want, and then how you're going to get it will come a way there's no way to expect how. So let's just review those 4 little tips there, right? Number 1, remove all vices. Number 2, early wake up time. Number 3, tracking your food. And number 4, eating your daily frog, which is doing one hard thing that pushes you towards your goal each day. So those are the tangible steps I would recommend for anyone who's trying to pursue a difficult goal or task or desire. Those are the 4 steps that if you implement those, you 100% will have a way higher chance of manifesting and achieving those things. So all those things can be applied to any endeavor. So overall, when it comes to getting ahead in life, it's about looking inside of yourself, closing your eyes, asking yourself who you want to become, what you want, and where you want to be. Stop comparing yourself to peers. Stop comparing yourself to what that you see on the TV or on the Instagram, or what your parents say, or right, you're listening to all these outside sources and you're not listening to yourself. This goes back to kind of the way humans interact in general, but right, we're often followers and we imitate others and to truly find happiness, right? If you were, right, people say, oh, I wish I was that guy, or oh, I wish I was that girl. You wouldn't, their desires, their hopes, their dreams are completely different than yours. You don't want to be them. They don't want to be you, right? Oscar Wilde said, right, I think everyone's already taken, so, you got to be yourself. By reflecting upon what you want inside with right, you can cover your eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, right? Get no outside input, just inside input. You know what you want. You realize now's the time to get it because the present moment's the only thing that exists. Okay, cool. This, not cool. Bad things happened to you in the past. That's not cool. The future, bad things are going to happen. Oh, that's not cool. What is cool? Right now, they're not happening and they already happened, right? So right now, you have the power in your hands. So the present moment's the only thing that exists. Remember that. Go ahead and pursue the best health that you can create and best mental health as well. Keep inside what you're trying to pursue. So like if it's the fitness goal, don't go tell everybody you're on a diet, you're doing this new thing, this new workout program, this. It's just going to hurt you. I'm telling you. Keep it in your heart. Keep it close to your chest. And you'll be that much more able to act on those feelings and those motivations and those desires when you're not constantly discussing them with everyone you meet and telling your friend, oh yeah, because it's going to just slow you down. Focus on action, right? So, and then we went over kind of the removal process and those 4 steps we can do to actually apply those 4 ideas to any endeavor. And also just, on a more philosophical note, we got to smile at adversity, right? So many times people are living their lives and they just think, why do all these bad things happen to me? Or, why it's so unfair that this happened or that happened, or, right? They focus on themselves in a negative sense. They don't think to themselves, how can they get ahead? How can they help themselves? They only think about themselves in a victim manner. They think about all the wrongs and all of the issues. They don't think about the solutions. They don't think about forward progress. They instead sit in stagnation and therefore remain miserable, right? Stagnation is death. Look at a pond of water that is stagnant. Is it teeming with, an ecosystem full of different life forms and healthy plants? And no, it's not. A stagnant pond is disease filled and gross, and you tell, hey, get away from that. It's nasty. Don't fall in that thing, right? You want flowing water. Right? Look at the pool behind me. The water stays flowing. You've got to stay flowing and moving. That life is progression. It's when we stagnate and stand still, things only get worse. Very few times I'm trying to think of sitting in place. Let's see. Sit still and do things get better? There's a time for sitting still, meditation, reflection, deep introspection, stuff like that. But typically when people sit still and they think about themselves, it's usually in a negative manner. So we got to flip that script. Now we're thinking about ourselves in a positive manner. And what I mean by that is when we're waking up early and when you're working out and when you're eating right, like you have all these positive W's, all these wins that you're stacking up, that you don't feel like a loser anymore. You feel like a winner. Why? Because you're winning all day. How could you feel like a loser after you woke up early, tackled, you ate a frog of something you're trying to pursue, right? And you're being conscious about your food intake because you want to live a better life, a healthier life for you and your family and your loved ones. How is it possible by doing these things? How could you, sit there in a stupor and fume and, right? You can't. You're going to be moving, right? You're going to be going towards your desire. So you got to stay moving. And with that point as well, I just wanted to mention about We need to smile at adversity. Problems are coming. They're tests, right? There's going to be things that don't go your way. That's life. People want it to be a roller coaster that only goes up, 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 up. But that's just, that's delusional. That's childlike thinking, and it only hurts you. You hurt yourself by deluding yourself that problems are not coming your way, that things aren't going to work out, that things aren't going to break, that that thing that was so certain to happen didn't happen. You have to understand that whatever imagination in whatever plan that you imagine in your mind is not real. That's just another thought that you have, and the reality of how you're going to achieve that thing or that goal or that plan, it's going to take on a different form than you can predict. But the key is to keep that desire close to your chest, to make moves and act in a way that will get you closer and closer to that goal, and be smiling at adversity when it comes, because boy is it coming. All right, we have to count our blessings. When I think about adversity, it's fascinating to me because there's 8 billion humans on Earth, and adversity is subjective, right? Even someone in the first world country, if they have a weak mindset, they could be living in it, and not even just a weak mindset, just depending on genetics and social standards. You could be born with diseases or things that other people don't have, so you're going to have there's adversity that you're going to have to overcome that other people will not. But what I'm getting at is adversity. We have to fight it. That's what life is fighting, fighting to survive, to live, to grow. It's a fight for a reason. That's why we use that type of language. It's not a walk, right? It's not a walk in the park. It's a fight, and fights are dirty and hurt, and right, you have to be strong for them and prepare for them. So I'm just getting off this little topic just to think about, because what adversity do majority of Western human beings, what adversity do they really have? Yes, we have financial adversity because we have to get a shelter, food, water, shelter, and that requires us to potentially take on jobs and do things we don't want to do. But man, think how strong the human mind and body are. Think to your ancestors. Maybe it could be not even a long ago ancestor. It could be only your grandparents or your great grandparents. Use them as fuel and as motivation to make them proud. Think about their circumstances. If you think you have hardship and you're watching this video right now, you just really sit back and think about all the blessings that we have, and don't think of, dwell on the adversity for a moment. Think about the problems in your life, and then now go and think about the blessings you have in your life. You probably have access to electricity. You probably have access to a cell phone, one of the, in the internet. You have, just these amazing magical technologies, literal magic. And it just makes our lives amazing. Like our lives are just so much more better than, when it comes to, the material side. We have so much more comforts and so much more just, ease of life compared to 99% of humans that have ever lived. And I hope this trend continues to get better. I hope my great-great-grandchildren look back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe he was, living like that. Oh, that must have been horrible. But what I say when I bring this up is just to say we got to smile at adversity and fight it, because if you don't, you lay down and die, because there's no other option. You have to stand up and fight. You can't lay down and let the fight win. You're not going to win the fight by laying down. No one's going to fight it for you. No one's going to make your dreams come true for you. You're the only one, right? So just keep that smile. Keep it positive. That's another big thing, right? I'm a pretty naturally optimistic and positive person, but I get negative sometimes. I get down on myself. I get scared, I get lonely, I get anxious, I get depressed. But what I do is I don't sit and stay in those low frequency kind of moods, right? By having these sort of, right, by moving, by working out, by eating right, by keeping your life force growing and going, these are the ways that you bring positivity in your life. I never really, I've looked into all self-help development, these sorts of things. And one is like, right, like, doing affirmations in the morning, saying, I am strong, I am cool. And it's weird because talk is so cheap, right? These are the two sides of the coin in my mind, right? Number one, talk is cheap. So saying these things, I'm the best, I'm so cool, this, and affirmations, talk is cheap. So, is it really, is talking about it actually proving it to yourself, or is taking action actually going to prove it to yourself? I think it's the action, not the talking. So that's the one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is kind of more of the, I guess, subconscious programming side. The more, right, if you repeat habits and they become ingrained in your psyche, right, you're growing neurons and they're connecting and they're firing together, and you can really manifest, you can build yourself up. It's just another tool in the toolbox. But what I bring up speech for and is you're going to have naturally more positive things, a mindset, and you'll feel naturally better, goodness, right? You'll feel better than if you were, not tracking your food and eating more of a junk food or unhealthy diet, and you're sleeping in late, so you're not waking up and tackling your goals that you're trying to, bring into your life to build a better life. So you're naturally going to be more positive when you're free from vices, you're waking up early, you're smiling at adversity, and you're running it up, right? All these things are going to make you a powerful human being. And that's just power is such a interesting idea as well. Talk about all these philosophical concepts today. But right, power, right? People feel powerless these days. They feel they have no control over their lives. Well, you do have a lot of control. So start with those things that you don't think about, the things you don't have control over. Think about the things you do have control over. So what are those things you do have control over, right? You can control if you put vices in your body or not, or if you engage in vices, right? You can choose what time you go to bed and wake up, right? You can choose what food you put in your mouth, right? You focus on what you can control, and then you become a better controller. Then you control something bigger, and then bigger, and then bigger, and then bigger. And you control the steps needed, or, whatever you created, you now can control it because you've gained power. If you're powerless, right, if you wake up late every day, you eat like shit, and you're not disciplined, and etc., like, how can you build anything? How can you pursue any order, right? You're just living in chaos, and your life will be chaos. So order is, by definition, it's removing the chaos or ordering the chaos. You can't use a word in its definition, right? Goodness. But just think about that a little bit. If you have to order the chaos, and that will help you get what you want. So I'm about 150, maybe 200 burpees into this 333 burpee workout, and I haven't talked about it once. Well, I think I mentioned it once. But I like burpees a lot. Burpees are a full body exercise, right? Predominantly with the push-up part of it, it's a chest and tricep exercise. But also, right, you pull your knees in, you get a little bit of abs, right? When the squat back up, you get your quads engaged. So I like it because you're hitting a lot of the muscle groups, all the large muscle groups, but also more than the muscle and the calorie burning, right? Because it's highly cardiovascular intensive. And it's interesting here, I'm looking at my form on this playback. Let's see, my left hip is a little bit higher than my right hip. So when I jump in, my left leg isn't perfectly straight. I have this, my left pelvis is slightly I have pelvic tilt, right? So I'm working on that too, but that also interferes with my form a little bit when I get tired. But anyway, what was I getting at with the burpee, right? Maybe that's where you start. Start with burpees if you're looking for your fitness journey. This might be too hard for you. Maybe just start on your knees and do some push-ups on your knees. But that's the key is progress and finding, right, what works for you. So maybe you want to follow, like I said, start with burpees. If you're maybe have some physicality, then this may be a good exercise for you. And what I like about it is the mental component. It's like the first, 20, 30, you get your wind up, your body's getting warm, right? Then you get into 100, 120, right? You're now getting the blood flow, you're breathing a little bit heavier. And your brain starts to go quiet. It gets really quiet. You get really like in the zone / in the present moment. I find the mind just slows down so much. And I think that's probably, goes to you're exerting so much physicality that your brain's like, hey, what's going on right now? Your body's, completely fired up. But I really like the mindset aspect because it calms the mind, but it also empowers the mind. Because, man, I just feel so awesome after I accomplish these 333 burpees. And it gets me excited for what my body can do next, right? It makes me want to shoot for 500 next time. So that might be the next video. Maybe we'll hit 400 first, then 500. But I like burpees of the mental grind aspect of it, because building that mental resiliency will also carry over in every endeavor in which you're trying to pursue success in. You need that mental resiliency because adversity is coming. Shit that's gonna mess you up. I gotta keep this family friendly. I'm trying not to curse, excuse me. Things are gonna mess you up, right? You're gonna hurt. You're gonna cry. No matter what you're going to do, you're gonna feel like crap sometimes. And you have to then turn that frown upside down. No one's going to do it for you. Some people let that frown stay turned upside down their whole life. They just let it stay upside down. Okay? It's up to you. It's only up to you. No one else can do it. No pill in a bottle can do it. Right? Only you can push the envelope, right? You can push your boundaries, push what you thought was to be possible, your limits. And then, I promise you, a big smile will come to your face when you're facing adversity, because when you face your problems, it's so funny, right? What happens when you face your problems? What happens? You solve them, right? So when you're turned away from them, you don't solve them. When you ignore them, when you're not looking at them. But most of the time when you look at problems, right, your brain is going to solve it. It's going to take action. And now that we're eating right, and now that we're working out, and now that we're pursuing our best life, it's going to make all those other endeavors just that much easier. But I'm just knocking these out. In the mental side, that resiliency, I'm trying to think of some other things with the resiliency, which is it carries over. It's like a multi-purpose tool that no matter where you go in your life, right, you're a problem solver that has a lot of stamina and endurance, and can, you'll turn into a person who these things that you used to think were mountains, right, that you couldn't climb over, you couldn't cross, right, they'll all turn to molehills, things that you can just stomp on and keep going and just keep on going, because your mind is so resilient that these perceived problems or perceived issues, they always have a solution. Because if you can identify the problem, off the human mind can 99.999% identify the solution. There's obviously questions that we will never know the answer to, but what I'm getting at here is with problems or perceived problems, you'll be able to solve them a lot easier with a strong mind. And burpees give you a strong mind. And I like running as well. I'm a runner as well. I like running long distance. I've been doing more weightlifting. I like lifting weights as well. I don't I like to just be an overall athlete. I do taekwondo. I like to work out. I don't swim that much. I want to swim some more. Swimming, I like to do difficult things, and swimming's probably my weakest. But that's another thing too, is don't label yourself. I know I'm getting a little off topic here, but it relates to how to get ahead in life. Right? If you're getting ahead in life, you have to be labelless for yourself. Other people can put labels on you. They can walk up and slap on your back. Oh, you're this guy, or oh, you're my son, or oh, you're my employer, or you're my employee, or oh, you're the funny guy, or oh, you're this guy or that guy. Right? Other people around us like to tell us who we are, but you have to remain labelless, right? Like Bruce Lee said, be like water, my friend, right? Water goes in a cup, it becomes a cup. Water goes into, right, a river basin, it becomes a river. You have to be formless and not be stuck with labels. So, right, there's a great quote by Aristotle, right, when he talks about the athlete is too crude and too, unsophisticated, whereas the scholar is too weak and too, incapable of, incapable on other physicality aspects if he's just a scholar. So what you should strive to be is the scholar athlete, right? Be the man of action, man or woman of action. Don't be the person who lets other people label them and then you agree with those labels. It's so funny. People agree. You don't have to agree with what other people say or do, right? You can disagree. So by remaining labelless, by being formless, this will give you power and strength. So that's what I was getting out with that is, why label or pigeonhole yourself like, oh, I only lift weights. I guess if that's really what you only want to do, like I only want to be, the best, runner in the world. I only want to focus on, what do you call it? Like long distance running. I want to win a marathon and get a gold medal. If that's your true desire, that's your true, your goal, then go for it. Yes. But if you just desire, physical health and want to have a lot of experiences, then I highly recommend trying to, experience so many different sports. Sign up for classes, take a karate class, work out at the gym regularly, join a running club and make friends and go running, join a bike club and bike with friends every Saturday morning. Like there's physical exercise and doing sports or, right, that's such a rich part of life, and I find that so many people aren't physical. They just kind of, they're couch potatoes. They go to work, come home, they don't really work out. They don't really move much day to day. They don't sweat. The only time they sweat is when they're walking upstairs or something like that. I just find those people are missing out. I feel bad for them, honestly. I kind of have like a pity thing going on because they fear I think it goes back to that. That's what it goes back to. People don't like the gym. They say some people really just don't like this, since there's very few people I think that really just genetically do not like, being physical. I think majority of humans want and need and have a strong desire to be physical in some capacity, to dance, to move, to jump, to run. I think the human spirit needs these things too. And when people neglect it spreads, and you're going to have, so yeah, be active, man. Whatever it is, if it's, maybe not ping pong club, maybe be a little bit more active than that. You can do ping pong club, but go run afterwards or something. Do it whatever sport you do it with, do it with your heart. Do it all the way. Never made sense to me too if you're trying to compete in a sport or be active. Like, you don't want to be just hanging. You want to have some fun. It's a game. Enjoy it and push yourself. And that also will carry over, right? That mental resiliency and that ability to push yourself in any environment or endeavor will, like I said, just make your life richer and make you that much more of a capable man or woman. Capability, right? That's so cool to be capable. This, when you develop skill sets and you develop capabilities, it's so fun to use them. It just never made sense to me studying theory and memorizing theory till the cows come home. That was just always my. It's so funny. People say, "Oh, college is not for me. I'm not a college type person." Me neither, man. I do not like college. I'm a man of action. I like getting things done in the real world and tangible results and building things and building companies, building businesses, building people. I like progress, right? And so it always was a huge thorn in my side throughout school's career, just sitting down and memorizing theory. And my thing was always I loved the projects. Like I loved engineering projects or building a rocket or making a little program or building a little balance table or something like that. Or a little terrarium like in biology or something. But always application is so cool to me because that's the real magic of life, is applying what you've learned. To know and not to do is to not know. So these people who study all these things in their head, but they're not giving them away to people, and they're not building things with them, or they're not utilizing the knowledge. They're really just collecting things and just kind of walking around their life. You got to use what you pick up. Like if you pick up a pen, you better click the button and get to writing, man. Put it on a piece of paper, right? If you got a hammer, you better start smacking some nails down, right? So got to get busy, got to keep moving forward. Stagnation is no bueno. So we're wrapping up here. We got about 3 minutes left here in this 333 burpee marathon express. And if you watch this video to the end, you're a real one. I wish you many blessings, and I wish you success in whatever you're trying to achieve in your life. And just know that you got to keep going, be resilient, and think about removing things from your life. Stop thinking about what else you need to do. Start thinking about what you need to not do. Think about those things that are draining your energy or messing up your pharmacology in your brain, or things that are depriving you of attention or focus or energy, and remove those things that don't serve you. Throw them away. Throw them all away. Break them all. Freaking never go back to that place where you get them. Delete all those numbers. Do whatever you got to do. Burn the bridge. That's so funny, right? People like, don't burn bridges and stuff. Burn all your bridges of things that don't serve you. Like if it's not conducive to who or what or where you're trying to go or what you're trying to be, like, why would you keep it? And maybe it's people in your life, your coworkers, you got to keep around. But like I said, if that's why you got to have good health and good mental health, because that's that adversity that's going to come no matter what. And by optimizing those things, we then leave that space open for success and the ability to achieve success. So yeah, I wish you all the best, and just keep going, man. Keep going. I'm gonna be here, right? If you need some motivation for some burpees, come stop by sometime. Come say hey. Just look at the smile on my face right now. Like, so many people who don't work out, they think they'll cry or they'll feel bad. You feel so good. Like, I've been feeling so good for the last 45 minutes. Like, probably the first 10 minutes is like, oh, my chest is a little sore, my joints hurt a little, my elbow, right? My knees hurt a little bit. But after I'm warmed up and I keep going, I'm just moving, like it's just a feeling like none other when you physically exert yourself. So do that. Physically exert yourself. Don't be a couch potato like my dog Coco, who's being a couch potato right now. It's funny. We're wrapping up here, so I'll leave you with this. There's a man I know, he got rid of all the chairs in his house, all the couches, all the dining room tables, everything, desk chair, because he only wants to stand up. He only wants to keep moving. And while I don't recommend that, I do recommend you stay active. So thanks for watching. Go get what you want out of this life, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.